So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quick way to add materials to your meshes. So first thing you want to do is in your scene, press and hold Z and go to material preview. This will let you see all of your materials. You won't be able to see them in object mode. Then we're going to add a base material to this object here, and we'll start by pressing new material right here under the material tab and new. We can name this material building, and then we'll start by just changing the color. So first off, I'll change the color to maybe something blue, and that's okay. Now the next thing that I'll do is get this. So you can take this material and you don't have to actually add it to all of them. What you can do is press A, unselect what you don't want the material to be applied to, and then the last object that you select will be highlighted in yellow, and that's your selected item that you want to copy the material to. So I'll hit Control L, and what I'm going to do is link the material. So now they've all share the same material. What I'm going to see first is if I change just this window here, I want to make this a separate color, so I'm going to add a second material. To add a second material on top of this, I'm going to go over here and into my material tab, the material properties, which is the ball shape, and add a second material. And for this one, I'll create a new material and I'll call it windows. Now I want this material to be like a brighter yellow. You can see that nothing happened. That's because you have to assign the material. So I'll click on this here. What I'm going is I'm going into the mesh and selecting the faces that I want. So then select the material and assigning it. Now, what I was thinking was that because these are different objects, we can't just link the materials and have them show up. But I'll see if we can link any of the object data, which no. Okay. So what you could have done is when you begin, create one item and then somehow have them link together, maybe while it's still in an array. Let me see here. I don't have it easy, but if it was still in an array, then you can keep these properties. And it would still be useful to have this for the next thing I'll show you. So I'll hide that one for now. No, I'll hide this. Okay. So I'm going to go back in and pretend that I'm creating this, and I'm assigning this material. You can assign as many materials as you want. You can even go down in here and change some of the properties of it. So certain properties we have is a metallic property here. You can see it's becoming more like a metallic shape here. And change the transmission, which would be making this transparent. We would see that on the rendering tab. And change the roughness here. And we can change a bunch of these values. I'm going to leave them standard for right now. So next I'll add a material for the door, select those, create a new material, and I'll call this door. And let's make this color brown and assign. If you had a building that you're using as a reference, you do is come up in here and grab your second screen, select your editor type, and go down into image editor, and then open up an image that you'd like. So I'll go over to the building that I have here, and I'll grab this reference here. So it's a completely different building, but I'll use this as an example if I want to grab these colors. Red building, windows, darker color, and looks like the door is the same color, so maybe I'll grab, no, looks like that's fine. I'll grab this one. This one's nice. Grab the door, the building color, yeah, and then the windows. Okay. Now, I have this one material, but we don't have any color variants in here. So what I'm going to do is bring up this. This is our timeline if we're making an animation, but we're not making one. So I'm going to switch it over to our shader editor. And now we have our shader here. So the shader is our material. And what I want to do is I want to have some color variants. So I'm going to go to our building material by clicking on it. And I want all these buildings to be a different color. So here we have our base color, which I selected from this here. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit in here, Shift A, press S to search, and I want a attribute. What do I want? Let me see. I want to get information from this object, so I want some object information. Object info, I believe. And I think I want the locations. Let me look in here. That. Maybe random? Okay, I'm just going to take a random from here. So now we can see that we have all these different values here, and we're looking good, but we just bypassed this. So I can plug this back in and put this in our base color. So now we have black and white, and we have all these random shapes. So all these colors are different, and we have some variety here. But I want to bring back this color. So I'm going to Shift A, S to search, and I want a color ramp here. And now it's going to go based off of these values here. So I can slide this. As you see, we're now changing the colors. I can press down here and grab a color. So I'll grab this blue. And here, kind of like that white, I'll bring it down over here and shift click or control click. And now we have a second color in here. Control click in here just to start getting some variations. And then I'm going to play around with the color a little bit. This one I'll go a little bit towards maybe not green. Keep it more like the sea colors. Okay. So now we have all of these colors. If you wanted to add more, you can increase this here. I think by doing constant, I can just start grabbing these colors. And I'm not going to get any in-between values. I'll only get some of these. But if I go to ease or any of the other ones, then we start getting like this color, which is which is not on this list here, but it's in between white and green. And then we should have some in-between colors here. Like if I went to red, there should be one in between red somewhere, which looks like this one, in between red and purple. Okay, now we have all these different variations, if I went in and let's take this, it's actually, can I isolate this? No. If I take this guy here by himself and I look at my array again and I apply it, and now we have this here. Hit tab A and then separate by loose parts. Now we have all these different colors here, and I can do the same thing that I did for building, but also do it for the doors. So I'll just take building and I'll press this to duplicate it as a new material, and I'll call this doors random. And I'll start by removing all of these, so now I have just one color for my doors. And with this one color, I'm gonna pick the blue because that's what I liked. And we'll add a second color here. And instead of blue, let's do an opposite color. Let's do this brown. So I have blue and brown. So get out of here. And this was a building color. So now what I'll do is go into my windows, go into my doors, and change this to doors random. Select all of these. Control L to link, and I'm going to link the materials. So now we've shared this material as well between these. And the reason this worked in this setup versus this setup is that we'd already separated 3 materials, and we defined what vertexes had which materials. So I could go in here and grab windows and pull it up in here, and anything that I do to change windows, even if I went and changed it to, you know, like doors random, and then linked it, they would all change. So what I'll do is I'll set this to doors random, duplicate it. Instead of doors random, we're going to have windows random. Okay. And with windows random, we had something like white before, so I'll do white and yellow. Yellow. Nicer. Something like that, maybe. And white. I don't want that many to be yellow, so maybe I'll do something like that, and I'll add a second yellow, kind of bring it over there, just so it's mainly white. Okay. Select these, this, and we're going to link the materials. So now we're getting all these variations. So this is a very simple way to add variations in colors with just this, and then I would need to do the backside as well, and then if I had done this from the beginning, or at least done one of these, and then did the same modifiers. So what I can do here is look for, I'm actually going to get rid of, move all of these here. Don't want any of this. I'll take that, and then I'll press M, add these to new collection. I'll call these houses. I'm fine with that. I'll hide these, and I want to clear my location to bring it back down, like that. And take this here. I want to link my modifiers. I want to copy my modifiers. Tab, all, and I just want, this one needs to be flat, so tab, rotate 90 in the Y direction, tab it back in. Okay, looks good. Shift D, tab, rotate 180, and I think that was in the Z direction. Give me the 2. No. Rotate 180 in the Y direction. That's upside down. So we'll do it one more time. Rotate 180. X direction? Yeah, it's in the X direction. So I'll take this, apply my modifiers here. Apply, apply. Select these, and apply, apply. Rotate it slightly. I'll scale it a little, bring it down. Select all of these here. Control J, tab in, and then separate by list parts, and then now we have this this exact thing that we had before, only now we have all of our nice randomized colors. And move this in here a little bit. I can play around with these to get a nicer variation. Then, when you want to export these to Godot, what we can do is hide this and hide that, and select these here, File, Export, and Godot uses the GLTF or GITF, and then you just want to include only your selected items. And data, this tells you kind of what information is being brought over, the material. There's no lighting, transforms, you know, how much it's moved. We can unselect that. In the mesh, we don't have UVs. We can unselect that. We need the normals. Vertex colors, I think we need that. And then material, this is okay. And then export somewhere.